At the luxurious La Lumière, a skeptical waiter touches Elon Musk's cross and has visions of the past. But what does this mean? And why was he chosen? Hello, I bring you another unusual story about celebrities. It's called Waiter Bars Elon Musk for Wearing a Cross, and this happens. The restaurant La Lumière was known for its exclusivity. Located in the heart of Paris, it attracted only the richest and most influential in the world. Its customers included renowned artists, politicians, and technology magnates. But that night, something would happen that would never be forgotten. Elon Musk entered the restaurant discreetly, wearing an impeccable black suit. Around his neck, a thin silver chain gleamed under the yellowish light of the crystal lamps. In the center of the chain, a small cross glowed. He had developed a spirituality in recent years, something that few knew about. As soon as he sat down, a tall, refined-looking waiter approached. His name was Pierre, an exemplary professional, meticulous and uncompromising when it came to restaurant protocol. "Sir, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to remove that religious symbol," Pierre said, pointing to the cross. Elon frowned. "Excuse me?" he asked, taking the menu without looking directly at the waiter. "House policy prohibits any visible religious symbols. We maintain a neutral environment so that all customers feel comfortable." Pierre crossed his arms, standing firm. Elon closed the menu slowly and smirked. "Interesting. So if I wore a rocket pendant, would that be okay?" "Certainly, sir, as long as it doesn't have any religious connotations." Musk rested his elbows on the table and interlaced his fingers. "Do you know who I am?" "Yes, sir. And still, I ask that you respect the house rules." The restaurant fell silent. Other customers began to notice the growing tension. The waiter's attitude was unusual. Refusing one of the most powerful men on the planet was unthinkable. But Pierre stood firm, like a statue. After a few seconds, Musk slowly stood up. His blue eyes stared at the waiter curiously. "Interesting," he murmured. He took out the cross and held it between his fingers. He made a move to put it in his pocket, but suddenly changed his mind. He held the chain out to Pierre. "Hold this for a moment." Surprised, the waiter took the cross. The moment his fingers touched the cold metal, something strange happened. His vision went dark for a second, and images from his childhood flooded his mind. He saw himself running through the streets of Lyon, his grandmother smiling as she told him stories about faith and hope. He remembered the old crucifix she wore and how that small symbol had helped her face difficult times with courage. Pierre blinked, dazed as if he had woken up from a trance. His heart was beating fast. Musk watched him intently, as if he already knew what had just happened. "Curious, isn't it?" Elon said, putting the cross back around his neck. "Some things have a deeper meaning than we imagine." The waiter hesitated. For a moment, he felt vulnerable. Everything he had been taught about neutrality and professionalism seemed insignificant compared to those memories. He opened his mouth to say something, but the words wouldn't come. Before he could react, Musk pulled his chair back and sat down. "So, Pierre, what do you recommend for dinner?" he asked, as if nothing had happened. The waiter took a deep breath. His face was pale, and his hands were shaking slightly. He looked around and saw that everyone's eyes were on him. The head chef, the customers, the other waiters. Everyone was waiting for his decision. Finally, Pierre smiled. "The roast lamb is excellent, Mr. Musk. I'll get you some." Musk nodded, satisfied. That night, something changed inside Pierre, and for all who witnessed that moment, a question remained. To what extent should rules prevail over the meaning of things? The lesson was clear. Sometimes, challenging what is imposed can open doors to reflections that go beyond what is expected. In the following days, La Lumière discreetly announced that personal symbols were welcome, as long as they did not disrespect anyone. And Pierre, always so strict, began to realize that perhaps the world needed more meaning and less impositions. The silence that hung over La Lumière that night was never forgotten. The incident between Elon Musk and Pierre became a whisper among the restaurant's regulars, something that few understood, but that everyone felt had more weight than they seemed to admit. In the following days, Pierre tried to ignore what had happened, but the experience with Musk's cross wouldn't leave his mind. Flashes of his childhood kept coming back at unexpected times. He dreamed of his grandmother. He smelled the kitchen in his house in Lyon. He heard her voice singing softly before going to sleep. The restaurant continued with its impeccable routine, but Pierre felt something different inside him. Then, on a cold night, Musk returned. This time, he did not enter discreetly. As soon as he walked through the doors of La Lumière, his gaze met Pierre's. The waiter felt a shiver run down his spine. Without waiting to be shown around, Musk walked to the same table as his previous visit and sat down, as if he was waiting for Pierre to serve him. The entire restaurant held its breath. With measured steps, Pierre approached. He noticed something different in the tycoon's gaze. There was no arrogance, no challenge, only curiosity. "Good evening, Mr. Musk," Pierre said, his voice firmer than he expected. "Would you like the lamb again?" Musk smiled, playing with the silver chain around his neck. "No, Pierre, today I want something different. I want you to sit here with me." Pierre's heart raced. The restaurant would never allow a waiter to sit with a customer, but somehow he knew that this night was not like any other. He hesitated. The chef watched him from the door. The other customers were waiting. But something inside him, something he didn't understand, made him pull up a chair and sit down. "What do you want from me, Mr. Musk?" he asked, frowning. Musk took the cross between his fingers and turned it slightly in the light of the restaurant. "That night, when you held this, something happened, didn't it?" Pierre felt a chill in his stomach. I can't explain it." Musk nodded, as if he had expected this answer. "This cross belonged to Nikola Tesla. He received it from his mother before he left for the United States. It was one of his few personal possessions that he never got rid of." Pierre's eyes widened. How did this get to you?" Musk gave a small smile. "Let's just say that fate has its ways." Pierre felt a chill. He knew Musk liked to play with mystery, but something in his voice was real, a truth he couldn't deny. "Why did you make me hold it?" Pierre asked, feeling his voice tremble slightly. Musk watched him for a few seconds before answering. "Because I wanted to know if you were next." Pierre felt a deep shiver. The candles on the table flickered slightly, as if an invisible air current had passed through them. "Next what?" he asked, swallowing hard. Musk smiled again, but this time his gaze carried a different weight. "The cross doesn't choose just anyone, Pierre, but it chose you." The restaurant seemed to revolve around the waiter. Everything he knew about his life, his rules, his meticulous routine, none of it made sense now. That night, La Lumière witnessed something much greater than a simple encounter. Pierre didn't yet know what it meant to be next, but one thing he was sure of: his life would never be the same again. And that was another one of those unusual stories about celebrities. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Leave your opinion in the comments, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Join our channel group. I'll leave the link in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll leave it here and see you next time.